Most people think bad content fails because the information sucks. Usually that's not true. I've watched creators say genuinely smart things to almost nobody, like ideas that could probably change someone's business or career or the entire perspective. And the video still dies. 200 views, 37 seconds average watch time, people clicking off before the point even starts. And for the longest time, I thought maybe attention spans are just cooked. Maybe people are too distracted now. But then I started studying creators who can hook you instantly. Not just big YouTubers. I mean, anybody who makes you stop scrolling. Like after breaking down hundreds of intros, I realized something. The best hooks aren't almost never loudest. They are psychologically unfinished. That's the trick. And once you understand that, you start seeing hooks completely different. Why do some people command attention instantly, while other people lose it before they even start talking? Because honestly, you can have the best ideas in the world, but if people leave in the first 15 seconds, none of those ideas matter. And this became painfully obvious when I started analyzing retention graphs. You literally see audiences disappear before the creator even gets into the interesting part, which means most creators are not losing viewers halfway through the video. They are losing them immediately. And today I want to show you the exact psychological patterns behind instant attention. Not manipulative tricks, not fake hype, real human psychology. The stuff the best communicators naturally understand. Because once you learn this, you stop begging for attention and start earning it automatically. The biggest mistake people make with the hook. Okay, so the first thing, most people think a hook is supposed to explain the video. That's wrong. A hook is supposed to create tension. Massive difference. Because explanation loses curiosity. Tension opens it. And honestly, once I realized this, I started noticing why so many intros feel dead. They answer questions too early. Creators say things like, in the video, I'm going to teach you how to grow on YouTube using these 5 strategies. And your brain instantly predicts the entire experience. No curiosity, no tension, nothing unresolved. Which means there is no psychological reason to keep watching. Now compare that to something like most creators are accidentally training people to click away from their videos. Immediately different feeling. Because your brain goes, wait, how? That how is attention. That's the hook. The best hooks create an information gap your brain wants to close. And humans are literally wired to seek closure. That's why cliffhangers work. That's why gossip works. That's why unfinished stories stay in your head all day. Your brain hates the unresolved tension. So the best creators create it intentionally. Quick test. Think about the last video that completely hooked you. Not just clicked, hooked. I guarantee the creator did not start by calmly explaining the topic. Something felt unfinished. Something felt emotionally loaded. Something made your brain lean forward. That's what you're actually chasing. Not better intros, psychological pull. Then this next part genuinely changed how I see communication. Attention is not created by volume, it's created by perceived relevance. Use difference. Because a lot of creators think hooking people means being louder, faster editing, more screaming, more intensity. But some of the most attention grabbing people online talk calmly, almost casually. So what's happening? Simple. Your brain constantly asks one question. Does this matter to me? And the fastest way to make something feel relevant is to trigger the recognition. That's why lines like this work so well. You ever spend hours working on something and then nobody cares? Immediately relatable. Your brain recognizes itself inside the sentence, and recognition creates emotional attention. That is why the best hook often feels personal, not broad. They speak directly to an internal frustration the viewer already has, because humans pay attention to mirrors, not announcements. The open loop effect. Okay, so this might be the most powerful concept in the entire video. Open loops. Once I understood this, I started seeing it everywhere. Movies, stand-up comedy, storytelling, great conversations. The best communicators constantly leave tiny things unresolved. For example, there's one mistake almost every creator makes and I didn't even realize I was doing it myself. Now your brain has unanswered questions. What mistake? What happened? What changed? And until those questions gets answered, attention stays active. This is why amazing storytellers never dump information all at once. They release clarity gradually. And honestly, most creators kill retention because they resolve tension too fast. They explain everything immediately, no mystery, no curiosity, no momentum. But attention lives in the gap between question and answer. That gap is where engagement happens. And by the way, this is why some people are magnetic in conversations too. They don't over explain instantly, they let curiosity be. They create discovery, which is also why people who talk too much usually lose attention faster. No tension, no space, no anticipation. The real secret to instant hooks. So after studying all this, here's what I think the real secret is. The best hooks are not trying to sound impressive, they are trying to trigger emotion. Curiosity, recognition, surprise, confusion, urgency. Something emotional has to happen in the first few seconds. Attention is emotional before it's logical. That's huge. People do not decide to pay attention logically, their nervous system decides first. Logic comes later. That's why a simple line like, I wasted 2 years making this mistake can outperform a perfectly optimized educational info. Because emotion creates gravity. And honestly, I think this is why some creators feel impossible to ignore. They understand that attention is less about information and more about emotional movement. So how to actually write better hooks? So if you want a practical framework for writing hooks, here's the simplest version I can give you. Every strong hook usually does one of these three. Creates curiosity, triggers recognition, challenges a belief. That's it. For example, curiosity. There's a reason people click away from your videos instantly. Recognition. You ever feel like your content is good, but somehow nobody watches? Belief challenge. The best communicators are usually the calmest people in the room. Every one of those creates psychological movement. And movement is what attention actually is, not information. Movement. So if I had to compress the entire video into one sentence, it would probably be this. People don't pay attention to clarity first, they pay attention to tension first. That's the shit. Because hooking people instantly is not about being louder. It's about making brain feel unsettled, curious, emotionally pulled forward. And once you understand that, you stop writing intros like explanations and start writing them like invitations. Alright, that's everything I've got. If this changed the way you think about hooks even a little bit, subscribe. Because see you in the next video.